So if the viewfinder, which is in a vertical position, is close to the shape, it frames the shape, and it allows you to see those contours of that single object in relationship to the edges of the hole. So if you go up pretty close, you can get the opening of the cup, so it touches the edges of the viewfinder on either side, and possibly the bottom of the cup touches the bottom of edge of the viewfinder. So it can, if you use this viewfinder with something like a single object, it kind of simplifies things for you, or it gives you a starting point to work with. I'm going to suggest that we don't have the viewfinder at the moment. We just put it down on the table, and that we're going to start by considering how we draw one shape. So if you could set up or take one of the shapes from your still life and just place it in front of you like I've done, and you can either elevate it on something like a book or pile of books, or you can have it just sitting on the table. It doesn't really matter. However, where you place it in front of you, i.e. either on the table or higher up, will affect how you see it. Now, this is really quite important. Your eye level, and providing you don't move about and you keep reasonably in the same position and you keep your head in the same position, I want you to try this out, everybody that's here. If you, whatever you've got your cup at the moment, just look at it and notice how much you can see of the opening. Okay. Now, because mine is reasonably close to my eye level, in other words, if I took an imaginary line from my eyes, I don't know if you can see this through all the clobber I've got in front of me, but if you take it out above it comes about 6 inches above the cup. This, if I take my this line out as a straight line, yeah? Can you see what I'm doing? Here's the cup. If I have it directly at this height, so that if there's an imaginary line going from my eyes to the top of the cup, I can't see anything of the opening, okay? Because the edge of the cup is in line with my eye level, yeah? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
If I lower the cup and keep my head still, I'm gradually beginning to see down inside the cup. Yes?
Yeah.
And if I go right down to the table and put it on the table, which you can't see, I'm afraid, I can see down inside my cup. I mean, even at this point here, I can see down inside my cup. So when you come to draw it, if I put it back on the block again, if it's sort of in the position that mine is here in relationship to me, it means that I can see down inside the cup, but not a huge amount. From this edge to the front edge is about 1 inch. Yes? Now, this is, I hope I'm explaining this clearly. This is really quite important, because when you come to draw it, if it's in this position, I will see a fair amount of the front of the cup. If I take it below my eye level, I see more of the opening and less of the front of the cup. Okay, so that's really quite important when you come to draw it. Okay, I'm going to put it back on there again. I think it would be quite useful if you actually just did this, and then you'll see what I mean. We'll draw the cup in 3 different positions. One where it's elevated, and I would say close to your eye level. One where it's sort of maybe a bit 6 inches lower, and one where it's actually on the table. I'm just literally going to divide my page into 3 sections. I mean, it's a bit of a waste of paper having a piece of paper this large, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing the top ellipse of the cup. Now, this is the very tricky bit. First of all, I've obviously got to draw a curve like that. I mean, you probably can't see that. Right, okay. Yes?
Yep.
Now, that represents the back edge of my cup, and the front edge has got to basically mirror it because it's a symmetrical object. And that is the bit that most people find really difficult. And I'm going to explain something to you. If I drew a line which dissected that ellipse in half like that, and another one going this way, ideally, all 4 sections should be the same. And if they're not, then you've got to adjust it. The most critical bit is where it thins out at the ends. And we don't want it looking like a lemon. So you have to be very careful how you draw this. This is the hardest bit, this bit here. I'm going to just shift my pet board a bit because it's very awkward for me drawing at this angle. So if it helps you, you can draw just 2 lines, one that is vertical and one that's horizontal, and then draw the ellipse, if that helps. Sometimes I do that. Can you see it all right?
Yep.
Yep. Going to make it bigger.
Too much. Pull it down. That's it.
That's it. Mm-hmm. So this shape I've drawn here represents what I can see of the top of my cup in the position that it's in at the moment. Okay? Mm-hmm. And as long as these parts look the same, then you know that you've drawn it reasonably well. The thing that I noticed with most people's drawings, when they come to draw these ends of the shape, is they tend to go pointy like a lemon. And if you can deliberately make it look rounded, then you have a better chance of getting the shape looking pleasing when you get there. Okay? Now, the next thing that you can do is, you can measure. And I know I've explained this many times to some of you, and some of you still find it difficult. But what you can do is hold your pencil up. Now, if I come off camera and show you this again, because it's easier without my face in the way, or seeing my face, rather. Okay. Right. So here's my cup, and it's in this sort of position. Oh, sorry. If I hold my pencil up like this and line up the top of my pencil with the back edge of that cup, obviously the cup has to be far away from you. You hold your pencil vertically. You line up the top of your pencil with the back edge of the cup. Slide your thumb down to the front edge and keep it there and do not move it from that point. Then you can see how many times that piece of the wood of the pencil goes into from the front edge down to the bottom of the cup, okay? And it should be once, twice, I would say 2.5 times. Would you like to just try that and see if you can do it?
The front edge of the...
Start with the back edge and then slide your thumb down till you get to the front edge.
Doesn't it depend on the cup? Because mine was 2.
Yes, it depends on the cup, obviously.
Oh, and the angle as well, of course.
You must keep your pencil vertical at all costs. Do not.
If I'm looking down more on the cup, then it'll be less. If I'm looking.
If you're looking down on the cup,
it'll be fewer numbers.
Yes, of course it will, because you'll see less of the front. Okay, draw the side edges of your cup or mug or whatever you've got in front of you. Just draw them in. And remember, if this cup is symmetrical, which most cups are, both edges have to kind of mirror each other, just like the top, okay? And when you've got to this same point as I have, you've got two sides and a bottom. Would you please stop? Mine doesn't look right. It's because it comes in more. If I take my pencil now and I line up my bottom of my pencil with either edge, and I just go like this, once, twice. It goes twice into there rather than 2.5 times. And I can double check that on here. It doesn't actually, you have to, go back to the original shape and just check it again. Yes, twice rather. It goes, this opening here goes twice into the height from the front edge down.
No.
In this position. It will obviously change if I put it on the table.
Okay, that's that.
The other thing you can do, everybody, is you can rotate your board like this if it's easier. Sorry, rotate your board. Whoopsie. And sometimes it's helpful to draw upside down, because then you actually can see it more easily. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Chris, you might find this helpful. Just turn your board upside down.
I'm trying every single possible way.
Try it whichever way you like in order to get it correct. Now, so this one is obviously further below my eye level because I can see down inside the cup, yes? And I'm seeing less of this front edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, what you've got to be very careful of is that this bottom edge here, which is the bit that's sitting on the table or the block or whatever it is definitely rounded. This one probably could have been a bit more rounded than I've done it, but it's not bad. Okay, so I'm now going to go on to one that's, I'm going to make it actually on my eye level.
So the final drawing is the farthest away, like flattest.
Sorry?
The final one is the flattest one.
Well, it's entirely up to you, but I've made my last one the flattest one, yeah.
Have to go distance, I think.
Yeah, I can't get it into a straight line
Maybe I need to put it higher.
without actually adding another block to it, but it's fairly self-explanatory, I think. That's it.
I went and bought biscuits just for today.
Me too. Did you know you can get a packet of custard creams in Marks and Spencer's for 30p?
Ooh,
Wow.
very good
In
one.
Marks and Spencer's? I was very surprised.
I went a bit more I went gluten-free something.
Oh, did you? That's good. I went classic.
Mine are homemade, I have to tell you.
Oh my God.
Well done, Jill. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to zoom out so you can see what I've done.